For me, the logo's main job is to identify the brand fast and consistently. It should set the tone and the position without explaining everything. The brand identity, however, is a lot different, and that's the bit that does all the heavy lifting. The logo is more than just the logo. It's part of a brand.
Welcome to episode 38 of the Marketing Blabs podcast. I'm your host, Tilly Hayes, and today we're going to be talking about the art of logo design. A logo is often one of the first things people notice about a brand, but it's also one of the easiest things to get wrong. When it works, it creates recognition, builds trust, and gives the brand a clear visual identity. When it doesn't, it can feel a little generic, dated, or just disconnected from the business it's meant to represent. So, in this episode, we're getting practical about what makes a logo effective, where businesses often go off track, and how to think about logo design as part of a bigger brand system rather than a one-off creative exercise. I'm joined today by Tom Haslam, our creative director, Charlotte Kinsella, our digital marketing assistant, and Kaz Grant, our client success manager. All right, let's get into it.
Jesus, Till.
Whoa.
That was like...
I'm a new woman.
That was like one
Even
take
with Ron at
Tills.
your leg as well.
Because I'm an actress next Tuesday, I need to practice.
One take Tills.
Filming, innit? Yeah.
Maybe it's woman power.
It's beautiful to watch.
Yeah. Thanks.
That's
It's a bit
sensational,
emotional,
Till.
Mm.
Yeah, do you want to say anything about how well you did?
Yeah, I've surprised myself.
Congrats.
Right. So, first question to Kaz. When clients talk about wanting a logo, what are they really asking for?
It's usually because there's lots of things going on within their business. So things like we don't really feel like ourselves anymore as a company or a business. We want to be taken a bit more seriously. We maybe don't feel that we've got that really good visual look about us. We want to feel proud of the business again, maybe. Or our competitors look better than us. Like you're looking at the competition thinking, oh my gosh, their logo looks better, this looks better, like we need to up our game. Or something like sometimes they're about to do something big, maybe, and like there's something, they just need a level up with all their graphics. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think that's pretty bang on, to be fair. I mean, if they're just a startup, then they need something to get kicked off, but a lot of them don't tend to have a lot of budget for it, to be honest, and they think they just need a logo, but they need a lot more than that. Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head there. Like lots of businesses are different, but those that are going through change and know that they're developing and want to look better. I think what I've found is people will go for a cheap option first because they haven't got any money, and then over time, if their business does well, then they think, oh, that looks a bit naff now. I need to get it sort of updated a bit and actually take this a bit more seriously, sort of thing. But you never know. There's some businesses out there that do have the budget and they want to do it straight away. I'm not saying that they do better, but they've just got a stronger foundation from the start then, haven't they?
Yeah. Do you think that sometimes when brands start to take it seriously, they'll come to you at the same time as a web design and have the whole thing done at once?
Potentially. I've built brands where they just needed the visual identity, logo and colour scheme, etc. But some also do want the web design at the minute. We're working on one at the minute called Barrier Depot, actually, which is a great use case where they were just starting from scratch and they needed everything. The visual identity, the web design, everything. So it's always... I've got Ron sniffling away in here.
I thought that.
Should we say hello to Ron? Ron,
Yeah.
come here. Come on. Come on. Oh, he's jumped up.
There he is.
This is Ron. Say hello, Ron. You're on the pod. So I think I could just keep him here because I think he'll just be more chill. Stare everybody out.
Oh, we love Ron.
So as I was saying, Barrier Depot just wanted everything. And it's always quite exciting when you get that because you can just sort of build it all from scratch, which is I enjoy doing.
Nice. Question for Charlie, because obviously you do a lot on organic and paid social. So how do you think a logo affects the way a brand performs across those channels?
I think the main one is that it gets you recognised instantly when someone goes onto your profile. On social, you've got like 1 to 2 seconds to become recognisable to someone and memorable. So I think having a distinctive logo helps people to realise who you are and trust you as a professional business. I think if you go down a cheaper route or if it looks unprofessional, it can worsen your profile conversions. So even if that's you're looking at your followers and things like that, people will just be put off because they don't think they can trust you. So an example is someone might click through on a social ad and then land on a form or your landing page. If your logo is displayed on your website and it doesn't look professional, then it might put them off from actually converting.
Yeah. It's a little bit similar with Google Ads as well, because, when users get served ads, they'll see the little icon, the favicon with the ad. And if you don't look like a credible brand, they're not going to click through to the ad and it can worsen performance. So, yeah, I think it's pretty similar across all channels. Obviously, you need to also make sure, don't you, that it works at different sizes of the icon, whether it's like on an Instagram profile or Google Ads. So, yeah, that's a big thing as well. Or sometimes we'll find, won't we, Tom, where logos are just so really fuzzy, like it's not the
or like
clarity.
rasterized. It's not using vector graphics or
Yeah.
anything like that. I think just coming back to our point about how businesses don't invest fully at the start, it then breeds inconsistency throughout the whole brand then. So they'll think they just want a logo and they'll just get it in one format, in one variation, whereas when we're doing it, I'll do a stacked version, a vertical version, just a favicon only version, or if it uses an icon or whatever, so that it's consistent across all platforms with the colour schemes and everything like that they can use. If they get it done cheaply, like what Charlie said, then they'll not have that consistency and it'll look different across different platforms and things. So just considering, it's hard because not everyone has the budget to do it straight off the bat, but if you can, then I think it's more beneficial.
Yeah. So when you look at a logo for the first time, then what are the signs that it's been done properly or just designed to look trendy?
For me, I always just go down the simplicity route. Like, you should all know me by now, to be fair. I just like to keep things simple and don't overcomplicate like how it looks. You've got to have strong fundamentals, really. So obviously it's balanced, got good shape, good spacing, solid typography and things like that. So if you're using a graphic element, because there's lots of different types of logos, there's just wordmark logos, there's all sorts. Did a little social post on that, so go and look at that. But if it does have a graphic, let it just be really clear and just one idea. Like, it doesn't have to be really clever and super. It doesn't have to say everything in one go. Like, just keep it really clean and simple. And for me, if you go down that route, then it's likely to last you longer as well, like 5 to 10 years. You don't want to be changing your brand all the time. Yeah, you want to keep improving and developing your brand, but it's more than just a logo and it's more than just your colour scheme. It's everything all in one. So I would just say that that's how you know that it's been thought through properly. If it's not crammed, it's not overcomplicated, it's just simple, clean, and does exactly what it says on the tin.
Yeah, I think it looks more effortless, doesn't it, when it's just kept clean, simple. I guess that comes a lot down to like typography and things like that as well, doesn't it? Like a lot of brands now, especially like in fashion and things like that, they're just going for simple typography and that's it, aren't they?
I mean, it depends also. Your typography is a big part of it, actually. If you look at a brand like Burberry or something, or Yves Saint Laurent, they all use like serif fonts and stylized fonts like that, whereas tech brands will use sans serif or block fonts and things like that. So it does depend what industry you're in as well, but you've got to try and make it unique. For me, the type is the most important part. Like, I spend ages choosing what font I'm going to use, not just for the logo, because your logo font might be completely different for the font that you're going to use on the website or your social posts or everything like that. As long as it's consistent and it all sort of interlinks some way, that's the most important bit. This is why I always say you don't just need a logo, like, you need everything.
Yeah, it causes a few little arguments in the office, doesn't it, between...
We don't want to be using Montserrat.
No.
What fonts do you like, Shaz?
Gonna need it.
Oh, no.
Playfair Display.
I don't mind Playfair Display.
I use that on my socials. Yeah.
There's I can't think of any brands where I've used it. I might use it for a nail salon once or something, I think.
Well, I like Seasons. That's quite similar.
Seasons? Which one's that? Is that a Google font?
I don't know, but I like it. I'm also a Times New Roman, but not for logos.
This is another thing
just
on fonts as well. Like, if you can utilize a Google font in the brand sort of visual identity, that's always going to help the website side of things as well, because you don't have to install a font that's not a Google font. But the fonts that are available on Google aren't always the best. So yeah, things to consider there.
I know your favourite subject as well is Canva, but a lot of people with limited budget do use Canva.
Yeah.
And I know some fonts that you pick, you can't get on Canva, can you? Although you can download your own to it sometimes. So that's a difficult one as well, isn't it? Maybe designing for clients that can only get access to Canva and stuff, that will edit their own things. So there's so many considerations, isn't there?
I don't mind Canva. I think Canva is not a place to design the logo, I don't think. Well, in fact, no, it's not the place to design your logo at all. You'd need to do that in Illustrator or somewhere properly, in my opinion. But when you've got Canva, you can import your full like brand suite, if that's the right word. I don't know what the right terminal is. It just brand?
Just called brand.
Yeah, so you can put all your brand stuff, like all your colours, hex codes. You can upload all your logos, your images, your assets, and things like that. And I think it's got a really cool tool now where it can actually utilize AI to create templates and things for you for social posts. So that's pretty good. It's just having it all there, because the people that just go to Fiverr and just get the logo, they'll not get a color scheme, they'll not get fonts, and then it can look inconsistent. But you're right, not all fonts are available on Canva. The pro version has more, but you can upload your own OTF or TTF files if you've got it from somewhere like My Fonts or Envato Market or something like that. So it is useful, Canva, and it can be good for consistency, but you have to have the brand foundation there, really. You can just dip into everything then, can't you?
So what do we think are the practical issues that show up when a business has a logo that doesn't really work in the real world?
So I've split it into three main ones, I think. The first one is that it can become unreadable at smaller sizes. So if it's got really fine details, small text and things like that, it can just kind of disappear. So an example of that is in like your profile pictures, or even on your website header when it's on mobile. People just can't recognise it quickly because they can't see what the brand is. The second one is that if it relies on the colour to do the work for it, so if the meaning of your logo is communicated through colours, then it means that when you decide to, I don't know, print merchandise or something, it can't then be used in a single colour. So an example we've got is our Chili's bottles. We've had them engraved with the logo on it, but obviously you can read it because it's it can be used in black or in white. And then my third one is if it's not built correctly. So raster-only logos will blur when they're scaled. So like an example could be, I don't know, if you're a plumbing company and you have vehicles that have got the branding on its side, you can often see that they'll be slightly blurred when made larger and things like that. So I think they're the three main ones that I'd say you have to bear in mind.
Yeah, they're good points. Just to build on that, like if you do buy your logo off Fiverr, which is not a bad thing, they'll just give it you, I think, in JPEG and PNG format, which is not vectorized, which means, like Charlie says, like it can't be scaled. Vector artwork can be scaled. You can make it as big as you want and it doesn't lose that clarity that you need. Coming back to Canva as well, Canva actually lets you upload either SVG or PDF artwork as well if you need to, so that you can use that. So it is important that you do consider that, like Charlie says, so that everything's consistent and it's scalable for use in the real world.
Just building on that, what are the main sort of variations or logo formats you'd want a brand to have ready, or you'd get ready for a brand?
I'd do them all. When I do a logo from scratch, I'll go through all my concepts and everything, and then when we get to the final one, I'll output it in SVG, EPS, AI, which is Illustrator file, by the way, PDF, JPEG, PNG with transparent background. I'll do it all and then put it into a brand pack for them, zip it up, and then they've got everything. Or a Google Drive folder that everyone has access to. EPS, just coming back, is what people would use for signage and things like that. They can open that up then in Illustrator and it's the full vector artwork. And if a graphic designer's done it properly, then they'll have created outlines of all their text, so that what I mean by that is, I'm getting really technical now, is if they've not created outlines of the text and they don't have that font file installed on their computer when they open it their end, then they'll have the wrong font. So when you create outlines of it, it basically just converts it into like blocks so that it doesn't actually try and pull through the font. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, I just export all of them so that they've got everything and leave no sort of stone unturned in that sense. Because if you do, going back to Fiverr again or something similar, or use AI, you'll only get it in a JPEG format and then you're pretty restricted.
One thing I forgot to mention was that sometimes if you have a logo that hasn't been designed properly or given to you in the right format, you'll find that when it comes to wanting to print it on things, the vendors will have to redraw them and recreate them. So it can make it inconsistent across your platforms because it's never going to be the exact same. It's never going to be perfect.
Exactly. I've had clients, believe it or not, send me before. You know when you've got a PNG file, but it's not actually a PNG file and it has those grey squares in the background.
Mm.
You know what you sometimes get from Google or whatever.
Yeah.
I've had a client send me that before. And like, oh, can you print this on some flyers for me? Or a banner. I'm like, no, I'm sorry. Have you got the Illustrator or the vector file of it? And they're like, no. I don't even know how they would get that. But it was funny when I opened it. And then just like Charlie said, you have to redraw it then so that it can be reused. Sometimes it's easy to redraw stuff, but it can be difficult sometimes as well.
What would you say your advice would be, Kaz, for businesses that want a logo they'll still feel confident in a few years rather than a short-term trend?
It's going to sound like a sales pitch, obviously, because we design logos. But I want to give you the example of myself. I'm not a graphic designer. I can go on Canva and create something and create a business and create something logo-wise. I will then pass it on to Tom, who is a graphic designer and has that thought process to it. So like, what's the meaning behind it? What does it look like on all the different files? What does it say about you? What's it going to look like on this? What, like all these different things that he has in his mind because he knows what it's going to be used for, and he will create something completely different. So if you have got the budget and you want longevity to your branding, go and get the experts to do it. If you haven't got the budget though, and I get that, firstly I'd say don't overthink it and just create one, because your logo at that stage of a business is probably actually not the most important thing. But if you want that longevity with it, just try and get simple with it. Try and strip it back, get simple, because if you're going to create it yourself, you don't want anything too chunky, too difficult to recreate. And then also, what's it going to be shown on? If it is like a simple like word, you can make that lots of different colours, put it on lots of different backgrounds, and it'll look pretty good on everything. So, yeah, simplicity, and keep it simple as possible.
That's great advice.
Yeah,
Keep it simple.
I guess also as well, there's nothing ever stopping you from a rebrand, which Tom has a lot of thoughts about.
I've done loads of rebrands, or what I would call a brand refresh.
Yeah.
Because a rebrand I would consider if a business is going into a different market or if they're doing something different and they need a different name and completely different visual identity. That's what I would class as a rebrand.
Yeah.
Whereas I used to do a lot of brand refreshes where, perfect example, they've gone and got a cheap logo at first, they've played with it a bit, they've built it on Photoshop themselves, and then they need to make it more professional. And that's where I'd just say, well, how much scope do I have to change this or work on this, or do you want to keep it basically the same as what it is but just build out on it a little bit? And they're always quite exciting as well. I'd quite enjoy doing brand refreshes. But yeah.
Oh yeah, not that Marketing Lab's ever got a logo from Fiverr to start with, but we're on our third logo now?
Fourth, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I came in, when we merged Olo and Marketing Labs, we did a brand refresh for Marketing Labs then. I mean, it looks completely different to what the old ones were, with the shape of the flask and everything like that.
But it's still recognisable.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, and that's what a brand should be.
So a lot of people think a logo has to say everything about the business on its own, but how would you decide what the logo should do and what should be left to the wider brand identity?
Good question. For me, the logo's main job is to identify the brand fast and consistently. For me, it should set the tone and the position without explaining everything. That's just your logo. If you could sort of decide what your logo has to encompass in like a sentence or personality, let's say, do you want it to be confident and human, or do you want it to be precise and more engineered or techie? If you go down that route and give it a personality, then that'll shape the sort of logo. The brand identity, however, is a lot different, and that's the bit that does all the heavy lifting. So, for example, the messaging, which is where I would involve Mel, and she'd help me with that. The colours, the typography that you're going to use, the imagery that you're going to use, the layouts or any specific graphical elements that is going to be implemented into the brand. This is all part of the wider brand and visual identity. This is when I always say to people that a logo is more than just a logo. Your logo is your logo, but it's part of a brand. And does it have any sort of emotion to it in any way? If you think of it as your logo is your face, your badge, your name, and then your brand identity is your voice, your personality, and then full outfit, if that makes sense.
And making sure you stay consistent across all your channels as well to back that up.
Exactly.
Really important.
Yeah, big time.
So question for all of us really, using the Uber logo as an example, what would we say, or what's our reaction to it as a logo? Like, what do you think it does well? Where do you think it falls short?
I think simplicity.
Yeah.
Like it nails simplicity, doesn't it? It's literally the name.
Yeah, it's clear. It's modern, it's legible, readable, and it works everywhere. Like, no matter where you put that logo, it works. And it's also, I mean, they've got Uber Eats, they've got Uber something else. I'm sure they have. But anyway, if you've got the standard Uber and then they've got Uber Eats, the brand is scalable in that sense that you can change it and develop the brand. So they have done, and it's all they've done is just added the word eats and made it a bit bolder, but it still works.
Because I guess some people might have looked at it and put like a car in it somewhere, or a wheel or something that identifies it to a car, but they haven't. No. So then it can be used for anything.
Yeah,
exactly.
I like how simple it is in terms of how that translates to the meaning of the business. Like, you can get it quick, you can get it fast. It's simple to order, and I like that aspect of it. Yeah,
for me, I think it's quite a minimal. It has a minimal personality and emotional pull, though, don't you think? Like, I feel like if it could blend in with other tech word marks, if you didn't, we all know what Uber is, but if you didn't, like, you'd look at that and you could think that could easily be an app, or it could be, I don't know, an SEO utils, just as an example, because it does feel quite techie in that sense.
I think it gets away with being so simple as well because we already know what Uber is like. I don't know what the original logo would have been, but I'd imagine it wouldn't be as simple as that. I'm just going to have a look now, actually.
Well, people recognise it, don't they? Uber's everywhere. Like, the wider brand system now does everything without even differentiating against the logo on itself.
Oh, they used to have the cylindrical U shape in a badge tag, didn't they?
Oh, did they?
Yeah, I remember that now, about 10 years ago or so.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because when I look at like that and the simplicity behind it, and I think of like, I'm paying someone to create this logo for me and brand identity and everything, I'm going to pay a lot. Uber's going to pay a lot of money for that. You know, when you see the artwork that's like just a red canvas and you're like, I could have bloody done that. You kind of look at logos like that and you think, well, I could have done that.
Yeah.
But you couldn't, could you?
It's difficult to be so simple sometimes, I think. Yeah.
It's really interesting.
Yeah, if you look at Uber's previous logo, it was all uppercase, wasn't it? And more of a techie font with some like, I think it had some like little signalling visuals that went alongside it. But now they've gone for just title case.
Yeah.
And changed the font a little bit. But it's black and white. That's what I like about it, literally. It says exactly what you want it to do, and it's transferable and scalable, which is all the best logos are simple, Kaz. And like, that's the main thing. And you look at them all, can you improve it?
And that's the thing, I guess, cost-wise, when people are thinking about it in a cost way. You're not paying for white writing on a black background. You're paying for all the thought process that's gone into that, how that's going to like show up consistently for you, how people are going to perceive that. So that's what you're paying for, the strategy behind it and all the stuff, aren't you? Because I think sometimes, again, when you're looking at that spend for something, you're thinking, is it worth it? And I could have created that, comes to mind, but actually it is worth it because there's a lot more into it than you think.
I enjoyed that, guys.
That was good, that. I think we can probably stop there. So I guess what we've concluded in this pod then is that a great logo isn't about cramming every idea into one mark. It's more about clarity, recognition and fit. The best logos feel simple on the surface, but there's real thinking behind them, as Kaz mentioned. So if you're ever reviewing your own logo, there are a few useful checks to make. So first, does it actually reflect the brand you're trying to build today, not the business you were 3 or 5 years ago? Second, does it work everywhere you need it to, from a website header to a social profile icon to printed material? And third, is it distinctive enough to be remembered without relying on trends that will date quickly? The bigger point is this: a logo should support the brand, not carry it on its own. When you pair a strong logo with consistent messaging, design, and customer experience, that's when a brand really starts to stick. That's it for today's episode of Marketing Blabs. If there's one thing to take away, it's this: good logo design isn't just about making something look polished, it's about creating something clear, recognisable and useful that helps a brand show up consistently wherever people find it. Big thank you to Tom, Charlie and Kaz for joining me. Thanks to everyone for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you subscribe, and if there's a branding or marketing question you want us to cover in a future blab, drop the Marketing Labs team a message. Thanks for listening. We'll see you on the next one.